This series begins with a student named Young, and we learn he is a high school student. Although he is handsome and good-looking, he is unfortunately poor, and his circumstances are difficult to the point where he sleeps on the floor because he has no bed. We see him waking up early to go to school, and he keeps sneezing, and it is clear he is unwell and has a cold. But he is forced to get up and put his clothes on quickly, so he is not late for class. He notices his mother is not home and wonders where she is, but she suddenly sends him a message, telling him she went to work and asking him to eat breakfast and take care of himself. Young is happy about her care and thanks her, but he looks sad and clearly hiding something. He then goes to school, and there we see a group of bullying students doing a live stream on their YouTube channel, talking with their viewers and telling them they are going to give one of their classmates a makeover today to make him look like a celebrity idol. They are referring to our poor hero Young because he is handsome, but they notice he looks upset and frowning, so they stop filming to talk to him. They threaten him to listen to them and act happy, or they will beat him and break his face. They agree to pay him $1,000 as a reward so he should not be upset about it. Young is forced to agree because he is poor and needs the money, and is also afraid of them. His bullying classmates begin doing his makeup, but unfortunately they mock him and make him look like a circus clown. They force him to laugh during the live stream and wave to their followers. Everyone keeps making fun of him because of this, and the view count rises and their channel grows. The bullies are happy because they earned a lot of money, but Young quickly leaves the classroom and goes to wash his face. He stands in front of the mirror feeling upset and frustrated about his life. All the students bully him, and to them, he is just a clown in class. He wishes he were a talented student or had a superpower so he could defend himself. When he is done, he decides to return to his classroom, but suddenly a coin worth $1 drops from him. Because he is poor and unfortunate, he keeps running after it everywhere and sees the bullying ringleader mocking his character. Young feels embarrassed and asks him to pay the money they agreed on, but unfortunately the bully refuses and cheats him because he is weak and helpless. The bully exploits his strength and punches him in the stomach, knocking him to the ground and continues to dominate him. Not satisfied with that, he also keeps mocking his poor sick mother who cannot afford treatment. He warns him that if he complains to the teacher, he will regret it and leaves walking away laughing without a care. Young feels bad about himself because he was too weak to defend himself. He picks his coin up from the floor, feeling depressed and exhausted. After school, he learns his mother went to the hospital and decides to visit her. There she notices his face is injured and asks him what happened and whether someone at school is bothering him or he got into a fight. Young gets tense, but refuses to tell her what is happening because he does not want to burden her more than she already carries. He lies and tells her he tripped while playing with friends. His mother believes him and asks him not to worry about her and to live his life happily like any young man his age. Our hero pretends he will do that and that he is fine, but he sees the hospital bill and realizes treatment is expensive. He decides to save up money to buy it and goes to the restaurant where he works and spends the whole day cooking and serving customers. He is sad because his entire life is suffering and he has no time for love or even relationships. Suddenly, the manager comes in and tells him a new girl will be working with them. The girl arrives and introduces herself as Mia. Our hero is surprised when he sees her and is captivated by her beauty. He keeps staring at her and it is clear he has developed feelings for her. Mia notices his gaze and asks why, but he feels embarrassed and quickly looks the other way and keeps working while focused on her. Suddenly, the bullying gang enters the restaurant doing a live stream to do a new challenge. Our hero gets scared and hides from them, but the ringleader goes to Mia and explains the challenge. He asks her to make a burger sandwich in 5 minutes and if she fails, he will take her number. He keeps harassing her because he is sure she will fail and she gets flustered not knowing what to do. Our hero Young decides to help her and tells them he will make it. They agree, and he actually manages to make the burger in seconds right on time. He goes and serves it to the bully and his gang, and of course they are all surprised because they lost the challenge. But the bigger problem is that they failed to get the beautiful girl's number. They leave the restaurant furious. Mia is impressed by what Young did for her and goes to thank him. Young is happy she spoke to him and tells himself this is the ideal wife and begins imagining the color of the apartment he will marry her in. He has no idea what is coming for him. When he goes to throw the garbage, he finds the bully and gang waiting for him. They corner him, wanting to take revenge. The ringleader keeps beating him with full force, grabbing his arm as if about to break it. Fortunately, Mia sees what is happening and asks if he is okay. The bully is forced to quickly back off and pretends he was just greeting him. He threatens Young that if he tells anyone, he will finish him. He leaves and Mia goes to check on Young, but he laughs and says he is fine. He tells her they are his classmates and were just joking around with him even though their jokes are a bit rough. He leaves her and goes back to work, but she senses he is lying and that he is being bullied. She keeps watching him and decides to get closer to him and learn his story and try to repay him for helping her. At the end of the day, Yang finishes work but meets one of the bullies on his way home. The bully knows he lives alone and decides to come with him to do a live stream from his place. Yang is forced to agree because he is afraid of him. When they arrive, Yang makes pasta to eat, but because he is poor and clumsy, he trips on the device's cable and falls. The food spills on the bully, who screams because the food is hot. He gets angry that his live stream was cut off and decides to take revenge. He knocks Yang to the floor and keeps beating him to the point where he steps on his face with his foot. Yang cannot take the humiliation any further and says, "I accepted being beaten at school and at the restaurant, but in my own home and on my bed, never." He breaks free and attacks him and delivers a powerful punch that smashes the guest's face. They keep fighting until they break each other's faces, and Yang throws the bully out of the house. He is happy because it is the first time he has defended himself. The next day, he visits his mother in the hospital, but the doctor tells him her condition is serious and she needs an operation or her life will be in danger. Yang is confused because he does not have the money and does not know what to do. He asks the doctor to give him time to collect the money and leaves thinking. Suddenly, he gets a call from the classmate bully from the previous night asking him to delete the video quickly. Yang does not understand, but the bully tells him the device was recording yesterday and filmed the fight that happened between them. Our hero is shocked and runs home quickly to open the device, but is stunned to find the video has gained a huge number of views. He feels embarrassed and decides to delete it, thinking the matter is over. But the next day at school, he finds his classmates waiting for him. They all saw his video online, and because of it, he is transformed from an outcast nobody-knew student into the most famous student in school, and everyone loves him. Yang is happy and cannot believe what happened, but then his bullying classmate enters furious with rage in his eyes. He decides to take revenge because his reputation at school was damaged after being beaten by Yang. He tries to hit him, but the bully trips him and knocks him to the floor. He mocks him for being defeated by weak Yang and kicks him out of the gang. He warns him that if he talks to anyone, he will smash his face. The outcast bully gets upset at being abandoned and decides to take revenge on our hero when the right time comes. He waits until break time and goes to talk to Yang on the school rooftop. He proposes they cooperate together to expose the truth about the ringleader. They agree to expose him on his live stream. Yang is afraid but agrees. When they return to the classroom, the ringleader makes them do a live stream with him wanting to exploit both their fame to boost his viewership and earn more money. He pretends in front of the audience to be their friend and tells his followers he has reconciled them, and now they are all friends. He asks the viewers to send him gifts and money, but Yang gets angry and decides to expose him. He grabs the camera and tells everyone he is a liar and a bully and shows them the bruises on his body. The ringleader is shocked by his behavior and quickly ends the live stream. He decides to make him regret it and attacks him and keeps beating him with full force, knocking him to the floor. He thinks he has finished him and walks away, but Yang does not give up and grabs his leg. We learn all of this was part of his plan. He had agreed with the outcast bully to film what happened so they could make a video and get more famous and also earn money. The ringleader gets furious and is about to smash his face. He prepares to use his most powerful move, but suddenly a student arrives and stops him. We learn this student is a famous boxer that all students respect because he is very strong. He tells them their noise is too loud and he cannot sleep. The ringleader gets scared and apologizes to him and leaves the classroom. The boxer then notices Yang has fainted from excessive beating and is impressed by his bravery. He carries him to the infirmary and takes him to the nurse to be treated. When our hero wakes up, he asks the outcast bully if their plan succeeded. He tells him the video got 1 million views, which means they earned a lot of money. He decides to split the profits equally, and Yang is happy he has collected part of his mother's operation money. But the outcast bully offers him a partnership to earn more and asks him to do live streams getting beaten because that is what people most love to watch and he will get more famous and become rich. Yang tells him, "Wait, you want me to appear in live streams, getting beaten, not doing the beating? In other words, be the weak one? I am honestly afraid of getting hurt." But he then remembers his sick mother and is forced to agree to treat and save her life. The outcast bully is happy but asks him to endure as much beating as he can because the longer the video, the more he earns. Yang promises to try. Before we continue, I think you forgot to hit the like button. Press like now, my friend, and subscribe now. When he returns home, he goes online and watches boxing videos to learn fighting. By chance, he sees a video of a masked person who says he can make you strong. But Young laughs because the person is wearing a chicken mask and thinks he is crazy. He closes the video and decides to sleep, but has dreams about the bullying he faces. He wakes up startled. He is confused about whether to watch the video or not. The next day, he wakes up early and goes to school afraid, but finds the ringleader waiting with his gang. He saw his video and grabs him by the leg to take revenge and throws him down the stairs and keeps beating him with full force until he almost breaks his bone. He demands his surrender, or he will finish him. Our hero feels exhausted and was about to do it, but notices the outcast bully is filming, so he forces himself to endure. He must get more views and earn more money. He then gets motivated and decides to defend himself. He remembers the masked person's video, and we learned that before coming to school, he watched it seriously and learned that to defeat your opponent, you must provoke them and then exploit their weak point at that moment. He decides to imitate the moves and puts his hand over his face to protect himself. The ringleader gets angry at being challenged and attacks with full force.
怒りで興奮しているのがわかる。かかってこいよ。だけ有利になる。また来た。He tries to strike, but this time Yang dodges the attack while standing in place. Everyone is surprised by what happened. They think he did it by luck, but our hero confirms that the masked person's words are real. He decides to follow all his instructions and remembers he said to not be affected by the punch, you must get close to your opponent as he tries to attack you. Yang decides to do this. He takes the punch but does not give him a chance and quickly gets close and takes the hit from a short distance. Indeed, he is not affected and stays standing in place. He is happy and thinks he can win the fight, but unfortunately forgets the rest of the instructions because he was not paying attention in the video. Because of this, the ringleader kicks him and knocks him to the floor and approaches to finish him off. Our hero senses this is his end, but suddenly a new student arrives and pretends to film what is happening. She threatens him to back off or she will post the video online. The ringleader gets scared and is forced to leave. Yang is happy she saved his life and takes her to the school rooftop to thank her, but is puzzled because he has never seen her before. She tells him she used to live abroad and just transferred to the school, and her name is Monso. The outcast bully is impressed by her personality and offers her a place in their team and shows her the earnings, telling her they made 25,000. Monso agrees but tells them she is an expert in programming and says she will be the one managing their channel and she can grow it and increase the viewership. They all walk off together. She suggests they name the channel The Famous Punch because every time Yang fights, the views increase the most. Yang likes the name and agrees. After school, he goes to the restaurant where he works and watches the masked person's videos and keeps imitating all the moves. But suddenly his colleague Mia comes in and he feels embarrassed and quickly closes the video before she sees it. He goes to talk to the manager and ask for time off because he has something important. The manager refuses because they have a lot of work, but Mia decides to help him and tells him she will work in his place. She gives him her number and tells him to call her anytime he needs anything. Yang is happy and thanks her warmly. When he finishes work, he goes to meet the outcast bully, but all he can think of is Mia's number. He is happy he got the number of the girl he likes. Suddenly, on his way, two people spot him and recognize him as the owner of the Famous Punch channel. They ask to take a photo with him. Our hero is surprised he has become famous and agrees, but it turns out they are thieves who were lying to him. They take him to a deserted place and unfortunately steal his wallet. Yang is upset and wanted to call the police, but the outcast bully refuses and shows him on his phone that he was filming everything in a live stream. Because of the theft that happened to him, they got a lot of views. He asks him to go and fight the thieves to earn even more. Our hero is afraid but gets brave and decides to do it. He runs after them until he reaches their hideout and asks them to return his wallet. They tell him, "You think those fight videos you keep doing will work on us?" He says, "Yes, and I will have to fight you now." The thief mocks him for being weak and takes off his clothes to fight. Yang begins remembering the masked person's training and that he was taught he must not stay standing still and must dodge every opponent's attack so he can last longer in the fight and increase views. Otherwise, he might lose. Our hero decides to do this. He puts his hand over his face to protect himself. The thief laughs and tries to attack, but Yang uses his speed to dodge the punch. He keeps doing this to provoke him and make him lose focus. Indeed, his plan works, and he manages to block all attacks while standing in place. The thief tries to hit him with full force, but our hero gets close quickly and blocks the punch just as he learned from the video. He must be at close range, just like he did with the ringleader before. Because of this, he is not affected, and the thief is the one whose hand hurts. The thief feels frustrated and realizes he is not an ordinary opponent, so he decides to surrender and returns his wallet. Yang celebrates with the outcast bully and thanks his followers for cheering him on. Monso seizes the opportunity and uploads the video to the channel. Because of this, they get more famous and more money keeps coming. Yang is happy and suggests they split the profits equally, but Monso tells them she does not want money because she does it for fun. The outcast bully wanted to take her share, but Yang tells him, "You already took your share from life, so take it," and threatens to withdraw from the team. The outcast bully gets scared and goes after him, saying he was joking and keeps trying to charm him because without him, nobody watches the channel. But Yang conditions that he takes the bigger percentage because he is the one getting beaten and risking his life. The outcast bully is forced to agree. Yang is happy, and the next day visits his mother in the hospital and pays for her treatment. He refuses to tell her about their channel and tells her he has been working lately and earning good money from his job, but he notices her jacket is torn and decides to buy her a new one. Suddenly, on the way, his colleague Mia sends him a message asking to talk. He is surprised and decides to wear his best outfit and goes to meet her. He takes her and they sit in an expensive cafe and he gets her the ice cream she likes. He is happy talking to the girl he has feelings for, but overhears a young man mocking him because his shoes look old. Yang feels embarrassed and thinks Mia will look down on him, but she thanks him for saving her from the bullying gang at the restaurant and tells him she does not care about appearances. They leave the cafe and walk together happily. By chance, they run into their boxer classmate who decides to walk with them, and it turns out he has been Mia's old friend. When they reach the beach, our hero notices they are joking around together and naturally feels jealous. He feels he has no place among them and decides to go home. He pretends his feet hurt and leaves feeling depressed, but suddenly the outcast bully appears from behind him because he was filming. He tells him the followers found out he has feelings for Mia and asks him to be brave and go confess to her. Yang refuses because he is afraid she will reject him. He says she will definitely choose the boxer because he is strong and brave while I am weak and everyone bullies me. But his companion gets upset and grabs him by the clothes and tells him he must try and keeps encouraging him to give himself confidence. Yang is moved by his words and thanks him for standing by him and hugs him.
何が負けずめだよ、マジダッセーな。恋ってのはな、試合みたいなもんなんだよ。この弱虫、作野郎。いいか、よく聞け。ハマケンに何度殴られても立ち上がったのは誰だよ。行けよ。奪い返してこい。ありがとう。行ってくる。お楽しみください。
He promises he will do it, leaves him, and runs until he reaches Mia. He asks to speak with her and prepares to confess his feelings, but he notices the outcast bully is lying on the ground. He is puzzled and thinks he is filming, but when he gets closer, he is shocked to find him injured and bleeding. He asks who did this to him, and the outcast bully makes one request: run, save yourself. Suddenly, the ringleader arrives with his gang and knocks them both to the ground and decides to beat them. The boxer's friend tries to call the police, but the ringleader stops her and has his gang surround her and grab her. Yang gets tense, not knowing how to save her now, but he remembers the masked person's advice and decides to keep calm and starts provoking verbally to make the ringleader angered into attacking him first. The ringleader gets mad and tries to dodge his punch, but this time the ringleader had it calculated and hits him with his other hand, knocking him to the floor. Our hero begins remembering his school memories, how cowardly he was and how he was always bullied by the gang until the chance came to his feet to change, but unfortunately he could not take advantage of it because he was weak. He lies on the floor and apologizes to the ringleader and asks him to let Mia go because she has done nothing wrong. The ringleader refuses and conditions that Yang take off all his clothes in the live stream or he will take her. Yang cries and is about to do it to save the girl he loves, but suddenly the boxer arrives right on time and stops him. He decides to help and beats the gang members and saves them. He approaches the ringleader furiously and tells him whoever plays with the wolf deserves torture and warns him to leave the area or he will regret it. The ringleader is afraid because he knows he can never defeat someone so strong and is forced to actually run away. Yang is happy that Mia is safe but feels embarrassed because she saw him in that humiliated state. He cannot hold back and keeps crying. She feels for him and wanted to go comfort him, but the boxer stops her because it is raining and takes her away. The next day at school, the ringleader decides to do a live stream, but this time he shows his true nature and starts beating weak students. He grabs the outcast bully and mocks him in front of the followers and says he understands now. He cannot film anyone without them knowing, or he will not teach him manners again. Everyone is scared of him and no one can intervene because they know he is strong. The outcast bully looks at the camera to ask Yang to come save him. The outcast bully is afraid but remembers his mother's words when she said Yang considers him a friend. He cries and warns him not to come because his life is in danger. The ringleader gets angry and decides to finish him off and knocks him to the floor, but suddenly Yang arrives and stops him. The ringleader is happy to see him, thinking he will beg, but our hero refuses and decides to take revenge. He asks his companion to film what will happen live and write the title of the video, How to Take Your Right from Someone Stronger Than You. He prepares to fight the ringleader, but this time he has been watching a new video from the masked person and learned powerful moves. We also learned that throughout the past days he had been doing difficult exercises to increase his endurance and give himself more energy during fights, and also kept eating a lot to build his muscles. He decides to use everything he learned and puts his hand over his face to protect himself. The ringleader tries to attack, but Yang uses his training and keeps dodging with his speed, and also dodges all the punches. The ringleader gets furious that he cannot catch him and starts breaking everything around him until he manages to grab him and knock him to the floor. Yang is happy he provoked him and made him lose focus. He seizes the opportunity and prepares to attack this time. He starts analyzing the ringleader's moves and realizes his weak point is his legs. He decides to target them and gets close and hits them with full force. The students are surprised by what happened. The ringleader tries to act fine in front of him but feels his leg hurting. He gets angry and decides to make him regret it and attacks with full force. But our hero blocks all his attacks and keeps hitting his legs one after another, wanting to knock him to the floor. But the ringleader has unnatural strength and endures the pain until he grabs Yang by the hair and starts delivering rapid, powerful punches everywhere on his body. Our hero gets dizzy and unfortunately falls to the floor.
筋肉の薄いふくらはぎを狙った。
The ringleader says his end is near. Yang gets upset and starts remembering his old school memories. We learn he used to be happy and living in peace until the ringleader transferred to his class and started beating and bullying him. Our hero could not defend himself, and because of this turned into an outcast student with no friends, who no longer like going to school. He wakes from his thoughts and decides to change his life and take revenge on the ringleader. He stands on his feet and tells him he is no longer afraid of him like before. The ringleader gets furious and tries to attack with full force again, but trips because his leg is injured. Yang decides to seize the opportunity and uses his secret move, delivering the decisive punch to the open spot and knocks him to the floor, defeating him and smashing his face. He finally succeeds in winning the fight. Everyone is surprised by what happened, and his followers keep cheering him and chanting his name. Manso is happy he got his right back and cries and goes to congratulate him. The boxer and Mia watch him feeling proud. After that, Yang walks with his team by the beach and apologizes for being late. They are surprised to find their channel has grown and they now have 1 million followers. Our hero is happy because he will earn a lot of money and can treat his mother. He keeps celebrating with the outcast bully and spends a pleasant time happily. The next day, he goes to school and is surprised to find he has become famous. All the students have changed their treatment of him and started loving and respecting him again. They tell him because of what happened to the ringleader, he was expelled from school, and thank him for saving them. Yang is happy his life has returned to how it used to be. But after that, the ringleader's girlfriend notices that her followers are mocking him for being weak and losing the fight. She gets angry and decides to break up with him since he is no longer at her level. She then goes to meet her business manager and tells him she is ready to do anything to stay famous. The manager promises to take care of things. After school, Yang goes to the restaurant he works at, but bumps into Mia without noticing and knocks the food to the floor. He goes to help her and takes a napkin from her to clean the floor. After work, he walks with her and apologizes for not replying to her, but she tells him she is not upset with him. She thanks him for being brave and saving her from the ringleader and offers to go out together again. Yang is happy and agrees and says goodbye to her and leaves. But he notices she forgot her napkins and goes after her to return them. He is then surprised to see her entering a large house and realizes she is from a wealthy family. He feels hopeless because it is impossible she would be with a poor person like him. At the same time, Mia sits with her father, but he keeps pressuring her to leave the restaurant she works at and come work with him in his company. It is clear their relationship is tense, and of course Mia refuses because she does not like it and insists on being independent. She leaves him and goes. The next day, Yang goes to meet his team, and the outcast bully tells him there is a new opponent for him to fight and takes him to see him. Our hero is surprised to find the opponent is a wrestler who is huge and refuses, saying cover it up and go to sleep and everything will be fine. I'm not getting in a fight with him. If you want, go in yourself, I will just film it, no problem. The outcast bully pretends to agree and goes to do this, but the moment he sees the wrestler approaching, he gets scared and surrenders immediately. Yang laughs at his behavior and tells him not to worry about it anymore. He goes with Monso to look for a new opponent. The outcast bully feels depressed and goes to a club to improve his mood. There, the ringleader's girlfriend sees him and decides to use him. She pretends to be attracted to him and makes him drink a lot so he gets dizzy. She then asks him to show her their channel, and he agrees and opens it. But she films him without him noticing and gets the password. At night, Monso tries to open the channel but is surprised to find it was stolen. She calls Yang and tells him what happened and asks him to come to her place so they can think of a solution. But suddenly 2 gang members appear in front of him and corner him and take his phone and beat him and smash a bottle on his head. They warn him to stop what he is doing or they will finish him. Monso hears everything that is happening and gets worried and quickly runs to catch up with him. When she arrives, she finds him lying on the floor and thinks he is dead, but he wakes up and reassures her he is fine. She goes home with him to think of a solution. The outcast bully then comes to them and learns the channel was stolen, and they ask him if he opened it in front of anyone. He remembers what happened at the club and realizes the ringleader's girlfriend is the one who did this, but is afraid and refuses to tell them anything. The next day, he goes to talk to her at school and asks her to return the channel or he will expose her. She pretends she did nothing and leaves to go to class. The outcast bully is confused and does not know what to do to get it back. After that, Yang is forced to go to the restaurant because he no longer has money, and there Mia notices he is hurt and thinks he got into a fight. He tells her what happened and explains that 2 young men ambushed him and stole his channel. He reassures her he is fine and returns her napkins and thanks her for helping him. The outcast bully then calls him and asks to meet, and they all go to Monso's place. They keep thinking of a way to get their channel back. They wanted to report to the police but are afraid of getting in trouble since they are still minors. Yang goes online and by chance sees a photo of the 2 who beat him yesterday and learns they make pranks on people. Our hero thinks about defeating them in a fight but does not know how since there are more of them. When he returns home, he spends the whole night thinking. He goes to the masked person's channel and is surprised to find a new video explaining how to fight multiple opponents at once. Yang is happy and decides to watch it and use all the information. The next day, we see the 2 who beat him walking in the street doing a live stream and making pranks on people. They tie toy snakes to girls' clothes and keep filming them while they are scared, but suddenly Yang arrives and stops them. He is also doing a live stream and has changed his appearance to look like a dangerous person to scare them. Indeed, his plan works, but because he is poor and clumsy, his shoe falls off and the charisma disappears. The 2 laugh at his behavior and mock him and take off his clothes to beat him. Our hero decides to rely on himself and fight them. He manages to hit one of them, but the second attacks him from behind and knocks him to the floor. They keep beating him, thinking they have won. Little do they know, our hero has been watching savage instructional videos and he refuses to surrender. He decides to use his intelligence to defeat them. He gets up from the floor and starts running from them through the city. They both chase him until they follow him into an amusement park. Our hero seizes the opportunity and separates them from each other and keeps fighting each one alone. He rides a fast-moving game car and starts fighting them while riding it. He manages to hit them and smash their faces. They feel humiliated and tired and decide to surrender.
一番よく分かってるはずだ。世界中に集体を晒されてもいいならな。さっさとパスワードを置いて帰れ。
Our hero celebrates the fight and forcefully takes his channel back from them. He then returns home and does a live stream and thanks his followers for watching. He asks them to support him, and indeed they keep sending him gifts and lots of money. The next day he visits his mother in the hospital and buys her new clothes and reassures her. He is close to collecting the operation money, but she is worried about him and asks him not to put himself in danger. Young gets tense and is forced to lie to her, saying he is working at the restaurant these days. Meanwhile, the outcast bully posts an announcement on the channel asking for any strong opponent to fight our hero. He then goes to talk to Monso, and it is clear he has feelings for her. He takes advantage of them being alone and tries to get closer, but suddenly her father comes in and yells at him and throws salt in his eyes. He warns him that if he upsets her, he will regret it. The outcast bully gets scared and says, "Do not worry, uncle. Consider me a potato under your feet, and your daughter is a queen above my head." On the other side, Young goes out on a date, They keep taking photos and laughing and spend a pleasant time together. He then asks about her family and she tells him her father is a famous doctor who wants her to work with him at the hospital, but she does not want to. Our hero decides to confess because he has feelings for her, but gets scared she will reject him and changes his mind again. He decides to postpone until he becomes as rich as her. At night he goes to meet his team, and the outcast bully tells him there is a new opponent who wants to fight him, but this time it is a psychotic young man who is a professional in Taekwondo. Our hero is scared because he is definitely a strong person he cannot defeat. He decides to refuse the fight, but then the psycho waits for them after school and demands Young fight him or he will finish off his friends. He attacks the outcast bully and knocks him to the floor and keeps beating him. Young tries to stop him, but the psycho dodges his attack and sends him flying and keeps beating outcast bully and Monso in front of his eyes. Young feels their lives are in danger and is forced to accept the fight. He takes the outcast bully to the hospital and apologizes for not being able to protect him. He then returns home and spends the whole night thinking about how to win the fight. He knows he has no chance because the psycho is a Taekwondo professional and all their fights rely on legs, and also at close range they can break with their hands. The next day he goes to meet the psycho and asks him to give him 1 month to train and be ready, then he can fight him. The psycho mocks him for being weak but agrees because he is confident in his strength. He tells him he will wait for him at the appointment but will show no mercy. Young is happy and decides not to waste time. He goes to the restaurant he works at and asks the manager for a month off. Mia overhears him and realizes he is planning to get into a new fight. She goes to encourage him and tells him she trusts him. Young is happy with her words and thanks her. He finally decides to confess to her after he wins the fight. He leaves her and goes to his classmate, the boxer, and asks him for advice since he is the one who can tell him everything about Taekwondo. The boxer tells him he must dodge the attacks because the psycho is fast and strong and advises him to withdraw because he cannot do this in a month, but Young refuses to give up. When he returns home, he starts training and suddenly gets a notification from the masked person telling him a new video has been uploaded. He is happy and decides to watch it and follow all the instructions. You might ask why? Because the video is titled, How to Defeat Taekwondo. It feels like this person is following our hero and not the other way around. A month passes and finally the fight day comes. We see our hero confident and he goes to meet the psycho as agreed, but the moment he sees him, he says running is half the bravery and runs away from him. The psycho is puzzled but keeps chasing him until he follows Young into a bathroom. There, Young is waiting for him and splashes him with water and soaks his clothes. This is part of his plan to try to provoke him, and indeed the psycho loses his temper and decides to attack but slips and almost falls to the floor because the entire place is full of water. Young laughs because he had planned for this and is wearing water-resistant shoes. He seizes the opportunity and decides to attack with full force and manages to knock him to the floor and delivers one powerful punch, and as we know, he hits him and smashes the face of whoever came at him. He remembers the masked person's training and grabs the psycho by the neck to choke him and make him give up and surrender.
場所を制して足技を封じろ。
足技しか使わないわけねえだろ。
そうだよ。
とも嫌うのがダブルレッグタックル。絶対にこぶ引きつけます。相手が抵抗してもください。
バカ。
He thinks he will win the fight, but unfortunately, the psycho takes off his shoe and breaks free from him. He decides to make him regret it and kicks him with his leg, knocking him to the floor. He approaches knowing his end is near. Our hero gets scared and does not know what to do. The psycho sits next to him, making him think of someone he knows. A flashback reveals that he once saw bullies beating a helpless student and felt for him and decided to help him. He fought them all and beat them, smashing their faces and defeating them all in less than seconds. Nobody could touch him. At that moment, the helpless student admired his strength and kept following him to thank him and asked him to train him in fighting so he could defend himself. The psycho was forced to agree so he could defend himself. But then he learned the student got into a fight with the bullying gang alone, and unfortunately, they beat him and finished him off. From that time, he has felt guilty. He wakes from his memories and asks Yang to surrender or he will finish off his friends and hits his leg to make him give up and withdraw. But our hero, who refuses to do this, insists on continuing the fight until the end. He endures the pain and gets up to try to protect his friends. The psycho gets angry and decides to use his secret move and attacks with full force. But this time, Young manages to dodge it. He jumps high and grabs him by the neck and falls to the floor and keeps choking him until he makes him lose consciousness. Yes, do not be shocked, he wins the fight.
使い手に勝つ場所を制してです。
The outcast bully is filming what happens, and the followers are impressed by his skills. How he transforms from a weak, helpless student into the strongest student, and they keep cheering him and chanting his name. But we then notice the psycho is laughing, and it becomes clear he let himself lose on purpose because Young reminded him of his friend who died in front of his eyes. We learn he fought our hero to make him stop fighting and close the channel because he was afraid he would get hurt by the bullies and ringleaders. But now he has confirmed that Young is strong, unlike his friend who died and can defend himself. When he wakes up, he gives him his watch as a gift and says goodbye and leaves. At that time, Mia is watching the live stream and is happy. Young is safe, but suddenly her father comes in and sees her. He realizes she has feelings for our hero and gets angry and asks her to stay away from him because he is afraid for her. He says this is a poor, helpless bullying student, and it is good you have nothing to do with him in the first place. At the same time, Young is sitting with his team at home and is surprised to find the channel has grown even more and the profits have reached 2 million. He is happy because he needs only 1 more million to collect his mother's operation costs. The next day, he goes to school confident and is surprised to find all the students waiting for him. They keep filming him because he has become a famous student. To them, he is a handsome student who is no pushover in a fight. He is happy that his life has changed and nobody bullies him anymore. He goes to celebrate with his team and they go to the amusement park and try all the games and keep playing and joking around and spending a pleasant time together like siblings. They then go to the mall to buy new clothes and the outcast bully suggests our hero buy himself new shoes so he looks good in front of Mia. But he refuses because they are expensive and decides to save the money to buy his mother a new jacket. He goes to visit her in the hospital and his mother is happy about his care and thanks him. He then goes to the restaurant to meet Mia, but when he arrives, the manager tells him she quit. He is surprised and tries to call her, but she does not answer. We learn she listened to her father and decided to stay away from our hero in exchange for her father treating his mother for free. She sees him waiting for her in front of the house, but refuses to meet him. She remembers her old childhood memories, and we learn she was actually his neighbor. One day her medal got lost in the park and she sat crying, but Young reassured her and said he would not sleep until he found it. He kept looking for it until he returned it to her. From that moment, she has had feelings for him. She wakes from her memories and keeps crying. She loves him and cannot sit beside him. She cannot look him in the eyes. She is forced to stay away from him for his own good. The next day, Young meets his friends and the outcast bully tells him he received an offer from a famous YouTuber to participate in a fighting tournament. Our hero is sad that Mia is not answering but is forced to agree because he still needs money to complete his mother's operation. He goes with his team to meet the famous YouTuber, but they are surprised he wants to buy their channel. They of course refuse and leave. At that time, the doctor meets Young's mother and shows her his videos. He tells her he is earning money from the fights he does and asks her to keep him away from his daughter. He will do her operation for free. His mother is surprised but apologizes and says she cannot interfere in her son's life. She leaves him and returns to the hospital where she keeps watching the fight videos. She feels for him. He was enduring the beatings and humiliation, all of this to do her operation. She remembers the times his face was injured and he came to her and the jacket he brought her as a gift. She feels guilty that he is doing all of this to treat her. After that, the outcast bully is walking in the street and finds the girl who stole the channel waiting for him. She asks him to forgive her, but he notices she is sad and asks her what is wrong. She cries and tells him her business manager is unfortunately exploiting her because he filmed her in a video without her knowing. He feels for her and decides to help her. The next day, Yang goes to the hospital, but the doctor tells him his mother's condition has worsened from stress and because of this now requires a more expensive operation. Our hero feels guilty and goes to visit her. He stays by her side until she wakes up and opens her eyes. He expects her to scold him, but she apologizes and tells him she has been a burden. She says, "I am proud of you for being strong and being able to defend yourself. I can die now in peace knowing you are safe." Yang hears her words and his heart breaks. He keeps crying and promises he will do her operation. He decides to risk himself to save her life. He goes with his team to the famous YouTuber and challenges him to a fight. He agrees that whoever wins takes all the channel profits. The YouTuber agrees because he is a professional in martial arts. Our hero decides to train to increase his strength, but he returns home. He is surprised to find the masked person deleted all videos. He is shocked and does not know how to win the fight. At that time, Monso goes to meet the famous YouTuber and kneels on the floor begging him to cancel the challenge, but he refuses and says he will finish off Yang and orders his men to beat her. They actually kidnap her, thinking she is a normal girl, not knowing she is fierce and not one to stay quiet. She breaks free from them and decides to make them regret it. She laughs and reveals she is the masked person who was sending the videos to our hero. She starts using her moves to fight them.
She attacks them alone and takes them all on one by one. Nobody can overpower her, and they are all surprised by her strength. They thought she was the cute, helpless girl, and they realize she is not a normal girl. They get scared and run from her. After that, Mia goes to meet our hero and tells him about the deal she made with her father, and apologizes that she is forced to stay away from him for his own good. Finally, she gives him her medal and reminds him of herself as the little girl he helped. She confesses she loves him and leaves, walking away crying. Yang is shocked by what he learned and keeps holding the medal all night, not knowing what to do. The next day, he goes to the club and asks the boxer to train him, but he refuses and advises him to withdraw from the fight because the YouTuber is dangerous and might finish him off. But our hero refuses to give up. Suddenly, Monso calls him and asks him to come to her place. When he arrives, he finds her father holding the mask, and he decides to tell him everything. He reveals he is the coach who taught her the martial arts and offers to train Yang to make him stronger. Yang is surprised and of course agrees and says he is ready. He goes to the beach with him and there does difficult exercises to increase his endurance, and every day is harder than the one before until he finishes. He runs on the mountain to increase his speed and then learns all types of martial arts to defend himself. Days pass and our hero feels he has become stronger until the fight day arrives. He decides to visit his mother in the hospital to check on her. His mother cries because he is doing all of this for her and asks him to take care of himself. But Yang promises he will win the fight and treat her. He leaves her and goes to prepare. He finds Monso waiting for him, and she encourages him, saying she is sure he will win because he is the strongest person she has ever known. Yang is happy with her words and enters the ring confident in himself. All the people who helped him are watching to support him. The YouTuber then arrives, and the crowd keeps cheering him because he has never lost a single fight in his life. He refuses to even greet our hero and mocks him, saying he will show no mercy. But Yang knows he wants to provoke him and tries to control his temper. When the fight starts, he attacks with full force but is surprised that Yang blocks all his punches easily. He realizes he has unnatural strength. The crowd keeps cheering the YouTuber and chanting his name. Everyone bets he will win. Yang gets tense and feels alone with nobody supporting him. But at that moment, Mia does a live stream and confesses in front of everyone that she loves our hero. She tells them he is brave and always defends her, a true hero, and asks the crowd to stand by him and support him. Indeed, everyone is moved by her words and believes her, and they decide to cheer him on. When the second round starts, our hero notices many people are watching him and keeps sending him gifts and money because they trust him. He gets motivated and decides to fight with all his strength and attacks the YouTuber while he keeps dancing in front of him and mocking him. Our hero decides to use the training he learned and delivers the decisive punch this time. But because of this, the YouTuber gets furious and loses control of himself and unfortunately keeps hitting our hero until he smashes his face and knocks him to the floor. He thinks he has won, but our poor hero does not know the meaning of surrender. Fortunately, the round ends right on time. Yang goes to rest and his team tries to talk to him and asks him to surrender nicely because they are afraid for him, but he refuses and insists on continuing even if that is his end. The final round begins and he keeps fighting the YouTuber and remembers his memories. He remembers the difficult moments he went through. He tries to choke him to make him give up and surrender, but the YouTuber is not affected. He decides to use his secret move and hits him and knocks him to the floor. The referee starts counting, and everyone thinks our hero has been defeated, but Mia arrives right on time and calls out to him. From the midst of all the noise, Yang hears her and gets motivated. He decides to continue, and manages to get up before the countdown finishes, but this time he cannot afford to lose because Mia is watching him herself. He attacks the YouTuber who is furious with anger controlling him, and as we know, he delivers one devastating punch, and the YouTuber who thinks he is the man ends up being flipped like a domestic cat in front of him. He hits him and smashes the face of whoever came at him and knocks him to the floor. He succeeds in winning the fight.
Yes, all the viewers are happy and amazed by what happened. They keep cheering him, and his team comes up to the ring and hugs him, and they too cannot believe he did it. They learn they have now collected 10 million and will do his mother's operation. Our hero is happy he achieved the dream of treating his mother and saving her life. He decides to retire from fighting and live his life in peace, or at least that is what we think, dear viewer. Because the truth is that after all the victories our hero achieved, these were all just small soldiers in a larger network run by dangerous people. It is true, our hero won the battle, but the real war will begin in Season 2.